that drinkies do last night.
Ah.
Apparently they'd heard about my plan to cancel Trident.
Ah.
It seems that the American defense industries are among the biggest contributors to the president's party funds.
Ah.
Then he said we had a big problem in East Yemen.
Ah.
Saying ah like that, Bernard? I'm not your doctor.
I'm sorry, Prime Minister.
What is this big problem in East Yemen?
Ah.
Thank you, Bernard.
Oh, well, I'll try and find out.
Then he muttered something about St. George's Island.
St. George's Island?
Yes. There is a St. George's Island, isn't there?
Yes, it's in the Commonwealth.
Oh, I see, yes, God, that's St. George's Island, yes, God. Anyway, apparently he's afraid that the communists might try to grab it.
What did you say?
I said I'd have a word with the Foreign Office.
What did he say?
He gave a sort of hollow laugh. Apparently the White House thinks that the Foreign Office is full of pinkos and traitors.
No, it's not. Well, not full.
They don't want the Reds to get hold of a strategic base like St. George's Island. He spoke of putting tariffs on British exports to the USA and taxing US investment to Britain, causing a run on the pound.
Well, you're seeing the Foreign Secretary this afternoon. Can't you get him to sort it out? After all, they are on our side.
Who are?
The Americans.
For a moment I thought you meant the Foreign Office.
So, how can I help?
Well, there are a couple of things coming up where he might need guiding in the right direction. One of them is St. George's Island.
Oh, yes. Remind me, would you, Dick?
Well, as you know, it's one of the few islands in the Indian Ocean to stay in the Royal Commonwealth after independence.
Oh, that's right. It's quite democratic, too, isn't it?
Yes, free elections and everything. But there's a group of Marxist guerrillas in the mountains somewhere, and we're getting reports that they're planning a coup.
Oh, well, these things will happen.
Yes, but they're not thinking of starting it on their own. They're going to be helped by East Yemen.
East Yemen, isn't that a democracy?
Its full name is the People's Democratic Republic of East Yemen.
Oh, I see, so it's a communist dictatorship. And the guerrillas are Soviet-backed, are they?
Yes, and Libyan-backed. So, obviously, we in the Foreign Office are planning to stay right out of it.
Yes, obviously.
We'd only upset a whole lot of frontline African states if we got involved.
And we don't want to antagonize the Soviets at this moment, do we?
Quite. And we just landed a huge contract to build a new St. George's airport and harbour installation. If we back the wrong side, we may lose the contract.
Yes, quite. We don't mind which side wins, the Democrats or the Marxists. So what was the other point?
Yes, well, the Arabs have put down a motion at the United Nations condemning Israel. Naturally, we'll be voting on the Arab side.
Oh, naturally,
But I gather that the PM wants us to abstain.
Oh, surely not. Why?
Well, something about the PLO starting at this time, faults on both sides, the usual sentimental nonsense. Sucking up to the Americans, as always. Just hoping to realize that as far as foreign affairs are concerned, his job is to confine himself to the hospitality and ceremonial role.
I'll do my best. But you know what happens when politicians get into number 10? They want to take their place on the world stage.
People on stages are called actors. All they're required to do is look plausible, stay sober, and say the lines they're given in the right way.
Well, Jim, what are you going to do about St. George's?
You know about that?
Obviously.
Not a serious problem, is it?
Isn't it? Well, your information must be better than mine.
So mine comes from the Foreign Office.
Israeli intelligence says that East Yemen are going to invade St. George's Island within the next few days.
What? So that's the connection.
Now, your Foreign Office have agreed with East Yemen that they'll make strong diplomatic representations but do nothing. In return, the Yemenis will let you keep your airport contract after they've taken over.
There'll be uproar.
But that's only the start. I happen to know from our ambassador in Washington that the Americans are going to support the present government at St. George's.
In the UN?
No, in battle on St. George's Island. They'll send in an airborne division backed up by the 7th Fleet.
The Americans invading a Commonwealth country? The palace will hit the roof. I shall look ridiculous. Why didn't the Americans tell me?
They don't trust you.
Why not?
Because you trust the Foreign Office.
Oh, I see. What can I do about it?
Well, Jim, you have an airborne battalion on standby in Germany that is not now needed for the NATO exercise.
How do you know?
I know. Now, if you were to send it to St. George's Island, it would frighten off East Yemen. They'd never dare invade. Of course, it's not for the Israeli ambassador to advise the British Prime Minister.
And he wouldn't take your advice anyway. I want the President of St. George's Island to extend an invitation to Britain to send an airborne battalion on a goodwill visit. No, just a friendly gesture. Goodwill. Yes, at once, please. Thank you. Seem to think that 800 fully armed paratroopers was an awful lot to send on a goodwill visit.